Good evening, Crimson Tide Nation, and welcome to the 53rd edition of the Alabama Call-In Show, all right here from Alabama with the Voice College Football on the 300. My bad. I'm monitoring chat like on the Alabama channel, but then it's like, oh, I heard myself. It's like that's an
I've done
outtake of
that a
me.
time or two before. Trust me, Jackson, you're good.
But I will say you'll be in for a wild ride as we are celebrating the 1 year anniversary of the Alabama Call-In Show with all of you. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
Doing great, Jackson. Can't believe it's been a year. That's a long time. I mean, it's not a long time, but it is a long time.
It's
It's been a great year.
it's 364 days since the first one. Tomorrow will be a full year. Can you
That's
believe it,
cool,
man?
man. That's awesome. That's a great reason to celebrate right there. We appreciate everybody that's tuned in the last
Like,
364 days, and hopefully it'll be many more 364 days. Definitely,
there will be.
definitely excited to continue rolling
Because we
on.
have a wonderful community such as yourself, all of
Absolutely.
you, all right here on Alabama with the Voice College Football. And before we get to our first caller of the night, we're going to show you the merch store of Alabama at the Voice of College Football. It's all right there. The hats, the t-shirts, the sweatshirts. I gotta have a little something for winter, that's for sure. That looks more like an Oklahoma color, so that's a no. But I'll wear this. Going for a white outlook.
Yeah, we don't want to be wearing anything that don't immediately look like Alabama. I am. This is not a Missouri shirt. It's just a random yellow shirt. I literally do not think about the color of the shirt when coming on the show. I know I probably should, but
Yes, you
what
definitely
matters is the
should.
hat. The hat lets you know. Okay, the hat lets you know.
There we go. Got the Bama hat right there. And we've got the t-shirts, the polo shirt, the game day mug, the tumbler cup, the can cooler, all right there on Alabama with the Voice of College Football. And we've got our first call of the night, Zachary Wilges. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
I'm doing good, guys. How about yourselves?
Oh, we're
Doing great.
doing wonderful, man. We are doing wonderful.
Jeffrey, you know you can't wear nothing but red, right? You can't wear yellow, blue, orange, black.
I mean, like I said, I know that it would be much better to represent the Crimson Tide with the red shirt, but I mean, you're only seeing like this much, so I don't.
Right.
I mean, I could just shrink down a little bit, But yeah, it's just I don't know. That's hilarious. It contrasts a lot, though. I know it's funny. I mean, Jackson, he's not wearing red either.
Nah.
I think it's a dark color. I don't know if it's black or something, but I think mine just stands out.
Yeah, we're going for a blackout.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll win the blackout, unlike Georgia.
I just have to pick on you, Jeffrey.
Oh, I appreciate it, Zachary. It's hilarious.
Yeah. No, but I think this weekend's looking like it's going to turn out to be a good ball game this weekend. I know Missouri offensively and defensively have looked good, but most of their stats has the reason their stats are so well is because of the quality of competition they have played. Their stats are them being good or bad is not relative to or is like relative to the talent they have played so far. So really, Alabama is going to be their toughest game that they have played this season so far. So they'll really find out what kind of team they are Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Alabama, and if Alabama just comes out and keeps improving like they have been the last is 4 weeks, than our last 4 games, then I think everything will work out and we'll win the game pretty handedly, you know. Uh, but the one thing that will worry me is playing on the road because I know how we have been in the past with this staff on the road. You know, we have struggled, but I think this year, this team, both physically and mentally, are stronger and more capable of handling the the type of pressure that comes with the expectations of the Alabama standard that we have set for this team, because of that week 1 loss, you know, and the mentality of this team has changed and improved. The coaches are, you know, getting after the players when needed, you know, and it's not like Saban, but we don't necessarily need it to be like Saban, but we still need discipline, you know. And so I feel like this coaching staff is finally embracing and learning what it takes to motivate this team to get them to perform the way they need to perform to compete in every game.
Mm.
What do you think about Ahmad Hardy from Missouri? I bet we could put a lot of stops on him on Saturday.
I'm gonna say this. I'm not saying he's a bad running back, but he has a lot of his broken tackles have come from players standing up in the gaps and not attacking, getting level and creating proper angles, and uh and getting that and being able to be aggressive and getting after him. Uh Again, that relates to the talent of players he has played against so far, but I believe Alabama and the talent we have in the on our defensive line and in the secondary will be able to put more pressure on him to and get more stops, like you said, Jackson. I think we'll be able to slow him down enough to where he won't be a factor in that. Missouri's quarterback, Bo, however you pronounce his last name, I can't pronounce his last name. I'm not
Bo
even.
Perbula.
Probula.
I've heard it pronounced Pribula and Pribula, so I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. But yes, I believe our defense. And yes, I know we're ranked what 87th or 88th in the country in stopping the run, but a lot of that is from the Florida State game and us not coming and showing up in that game. The Georgia game too, but for the most part, Vandy was the only team outside of explosive runs that we given up that was able to average over 4 yards a carry against our defense. They've been the only offense that's been able to maintain a run game against us, so to speak, outside of the explosives.
Mm.
Um, they went away from it because of how we was playing them and everything. So they relied on Pavia a little more and went away from it. So it cost them the game because they went away from it. But overall, I think our defense is good enough to stop Missouri's run game and to stop their passing game. So it's gonna be a struggle for Missouri. Will they have some big plays? Probably, because we tend to give up one or two big plays, but I don't think they'll be able to do it on a consistent basis to beat us.
True.
Well, Missouri, the team that beat Ohio State in a major bowl game, I recall. That's just for God down there. Yeah, when you're talking about Missouri, I feel like their two biggest wins are not great. South Carolina and Kansas, they're not great wins. And the way they played in those games wasn't necessarily great. But I'm joking, Steven. It wasn't for you. It was not for you. It was for a certain other individual that we're about to have on the show, who is currently showing his face right now, but he is not going to show his face when he's on the show. But yeah, moving on from that, again, when you're talking about, Missouri, they didn't play bad in their two decent wins, but they weren't elite either. Their defense gave up a lot of yards, especially against Kansas. Kansas has a good offense, but still, they gave up a lot of yards in that game. I think Pribula is pretty solid, but going up against an Alabama defense, it's going to be a lot tougher than Kansas and South Carolina's defense, two defenses that aren't that great. So it's going to be interesting to see how he performs. I do think being on the road is really tough, and the fact that it's right before the Tennessee game, and the fact that it's between, ranked matchup and then a ranked matchup after. Like, we were kind of going through a tough stretch theoretically, even though I know a lot of people still question Vandy's validity. I think Vandy is a good team. I think we beat a good team.
True.
Georgia, we played good and we played hard, but yeah, we're going to have to do better on run defense against Missouri, because we want to make Pribula have to win the game, just like we did with Pavia. Because once we put the ball and made Pavia have to win the game for Vandy, it didn't work for them. They needed to be able to have their ground game going. They needed Pavia's legs. They didn't get none of that because we defended very well. So, as always, it's an effort thing. We got to play hard. We can't treat Missouri like they're no good, because they're the 14th ranked team in the country. It's going to be a great atmosphere. We're going to have some of our fans there, but it's just it's a game that we just can't afford to let up in. We can't give Missouri, a chance to build a lead and believe that they can knock off Alabama, because if we do, they'll beat us just like the teams beat us last year and Florida State did. So we're better than Missouri. We should win if we play as well as we did the last 2 weeks. But if we don't, then it could be very, very dicey on Saturday.
Facts. And we did a show earlier on our channel, and we was breaking down the Missouri's defensive numbers. I think the strongest run and pass attack team they have faced so far this year was Kansas, and Kansas was ranked, I believe, like 60 something, and pass offense, and 91st in run offense. So, every other team was like in the hundreds, So, I mean, when you look at it, Alabama should go out there and just dominate them. But I know with how competitive college football is nowadays, it's very hard to go out and dominate teams nowadays and just blow them out. Now, I do believe we could win by double digits Saturday, and I think that's what we'll do. But other than that, our defense has to show up, and if the defense has played against Vandy last week, or especially in the second half, if that defense shows up, then we should be fine.
I feel like we just start mimicking what he's doing down there. It'd be like, remember Snoopy with Lucy? You remember Jackson?
Yeah.
He's like, It's just too funny.
It's too funny, man.
It's just too funny, man.
Yeah,
You
but
gotta have discipline. You gotta have respect for your director. I'm sorry. I know it's just random, but it's too funny, man.
he's just so funny, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, that person. He likes to act up and goof off.
That's why he's hilarious. He's complete
He's-
goof off.
Oh man. Well, all right, man. Anything else before we get to our next caller tonight? Goodbye.
Just roll tide and
Oh, God.
good lucks, and I'll holler at y'all later.
How'd you
Appreciate
later,
it, Zach. I
Zachary?
hope you have a great night. Roll Tide, roll as
Roll
always.
Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll tide, guys.
And he's our next caller. We've got Caden the Diesel Freak on the line. And if you want to call in on the show, call-in link is in the description and it is in the chat as well. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
Yeah, good evening, Jeffrey and Double J Jackson Johnson. And let me just first say a big roll. Buckeyes roll. Because we're steamrolling this freaking schedule.
Love how dude is stealing our catchphrase, but you know.
You know, I
you had an adjective, thought you had the.
Nah, I had a roll with the roll, Buckeyes roll, because that's all they're doing. And I was just looking over the latest magazine for Red Power, seeing what's interesting, what I can see if I can pull the paycheck on something. But first of all, fellas, Jeffrey, how dare you have the audacity to wear that darn yellow around here? Do you see not what my hat says? Do you see what my hat says?
It's established in 1842.
The brand.
Case.
Case IH. See, my grandfather is a Case IH man, an international harvester man. And if it's not red, it stays in the shed. That yellow shirt.
You're wearing a black shirt right now. You're not even wearing a red shirt. So it's like I'm failing.
My wall's red. My wall's red. I'm wearing the black shirt in the.
I got some red on my background back here. Some red.
Yeah, well, I got more red than you, so beat you to the punch.
I've got a more red hat, or a redder hat.
Oh, please excuse me. I'll bleed international harvester red. Real red is international harvester red. Now international harvester red, that's big boy red. Come on.
How come they don't have that on a crayon?
They make spray paint for it. You moron.
Okay, cool. That's cool.
Mm.
Jax is completely tapped out right now.
Oh no, I'm just responding to the chat.
And I'm wondering why I am bickering with two morons, including your buddy Austin. I hear Austin bickering like a moron a couple days ago with Jackson. Jesus Christ.
It was funny. Oh, man. Oh yeah, we're bickering about it on
bickering. Not even just bickering. It was just baby bickering. That's all it was.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Well, we talked.
No, I'm here to.
Well, we talked a little bit about Nebraska, Maryland, and we
Nebraska, Maryland. Who actually gives a care about those guys? I mean, I swear to God,
Nebraska.
Who actually cares about Nebraska?
The 100,000 fans in Nebraska that show up to every game.
And Nebraska and Maryland are basically the bottom of the barrel of the Big Ten, including UCLA. I mean, that's just a straight fact. But I'm gonna tell you this: as a spoiler alert, Jeffrey, Illinois is losing to us 49-3, and Ohio State's just gonna do what they did for the last 4 weeks. Who's keeping track? I mean, it's that defense. I said it simply for the last 8 months. This defense is what's winning us another national championship. And Jackson heard my little preview actually earlier today with Jaden Gonzalez, and I gave him the spoiler alert of those boys getting their butts kicked by the boys in Miami if they do decide to show up in the playoffs. Which, if they do, they've got two nasty teams waiting on the other side of the line, and that's Ohio State and said Miami, undefeated Miami Hurricanes and the undefeated Ohio State Buckeyes. after we beat Penn State and that team up north, and we go through everybody else. Simple as that.
The schedule's setting up pretty well to go 12-0. I mean, it's Penn State kind of looks like
I've said it for like 8 months, Jeffrey. I literally been saying it. Yet you call me crazy, and yet on Twitter you're like, oh, and you're telling Indiana fans like I'm crazy, like we're gonna go undefeated.
Have I literally said Caden is crazy on Twitter once? I don't even think I've even added you once, like ever.
Please spare me your excuses, Jeffrey. Please,
like literally, I do not even reference your existence on my Twitter account. So it's like you're in the clear.
Because you don't mention me. You don't mention me because here's the problem. You don't because literally everybody's gonna come after you for mentioning me, and it's like I come on here every single week.
Most people don't even know who you are. Most people don't even know who I am.
I went on the Indiana show a few times and gave them a little spoiler alert that they're not going back to the playoffs. Spoiler alert. So
Indiana's got like a 72% chance to make the playoffs right now.
90%. I mean,
I beg to differ.
They literally have a 72% chance to make the playoffs right now.
You know, I said this in the last 6 months, Jeffrey. Until Indiana beats Ohio State, wins the Big Ten title, and wins the national championship, I don't need to be hearing it from your fan base.
It doesn't matter. We have 0 5-stars, and we're still playing as good as we are. That's very impressive.
Listen, Jeffrey, it don't matter. Until y'all beat Ohio State, until y'all
if you win the Big Ten title, roster, you would not be going to the national championship either. You've got a better roster. Congratulations that your program is good, just like Alabama is, and we're able to win national championships. Indiana doesn't, but it's remarkable what Curt Cignetti is doing, putting them in a position where you're talking about him. Because you didn't talk about him, so it's amazing. It's pretty cool that they're actually at least somewhat competitive to the point where they can actually be in a conversation.
I beg to differ.
That's great.
I beg to differ. Indiana's not competitive
right now.
Indiana's not competitive. Indiana's not.
Indiana is really good for what they are.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you, Jeffrey. Like I said before, until they beat us, win the Big Ten title, and win the national championship, I don't need to hear it.
But that's not relevant or matters in any way, shape, or form to whether a team is relevant or not. Oregon has not won a national championship, and they still beat you last year. So and
we beat them in the Rose Bowl. We beat them in the Rose Bowl. So what?
Okay.
Don't matter.
I'm just saying it literally doesn't matter, though. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. Your standards for Indiana mattering or being relevant is not indicative of the actual standard. Indiana is relevant because they talk about them on every pregame show. Well, you've got people all over all the networks completely trashing them, and people are actually saying, you know what, maybe these people don't know what they're talking about. Maybe Indiana actually is a very good team. They're not an elite team like Ohio State, but they're a very good team that deserves to be discussed. I mean, they deserve to be talked.
And I think my point's made crystal clear, yet you're too much of an idiot to understand.
I'm not an idiot. I'm just telling you the facts, man.
But here's the other thing, too. I heard Austin's remarks, and here's my little piece of advice to Austin. How about you tell Louisville to beat Miami in the next couple of weeks, because I know y'all play.
Actually could beat Miami. It's not likely, but they actually
but I know there's a 96% chance of Louisville losing to Miami big time at home.
Probably 96, but it's still possible they could win.
But Louisville's losing that game big time. They're losing that game big time. And Bean's over here preaching. Bean, let me just tell you this. I know y'all Florida fans are so aggravated after losing Miami, but y'all are basically the barrel of the SEC. Nobody gives a crap.
They're not.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Consistently anything.
Nobody cares, Jeffrey.
You get a completely different Florida every week. You don't know what Florida you're going to get. Crap Florida, or actually have a pulse and Napier trying to save his job Florida. It's two completely different teams. Two different teams.
It's basically the same Florida, Jeffrey.
It's not the same Florida. Okay, Florida played better against Texas than they did against South Florida when they were spitting all over. All right, they played better against Texas. So, they did.
I still don't give a crap, Jeffrey. I still don't give a crap. I still
You
don't.
only care if it's Ohio State or Georgia to now Miami because you pivoted because Georgia lost. So you had to pivot to something else. So I mean,
Or maybe I just have, or maybe I have an opinion about Miami. Yeah, I said on Twitter actually for the last couple of weeks, Miami's a legit team. I have respect for them.
Even though I don't dislike Miami fans, it'd be hilarious if they lose, so then you can pivot to another team. I want to see the next.
You know what'd be really hilarious.
Indiana.
You know what'd be really hilarious is when y'all lose to Miami in the playoffs, and y'all start whining on Twitter, whining on Instagram, and whining on Facebook. I'm gonna tell y'all, I told y'all so.
I'm just glad Indiana's ranked, man. I mean,
you're just glad because they've been the bottom of the barrel for the last 20 years. Like, come on now. Like, seriously, they've been the bottom of the barrel for the last 20 years. And I'm serious.
IU has been the bottom of the barrel for their whole existence. And now they're not. And it's got people like you in a tiff. Okay, you're losing your mind right now that IU can be relevant. It's okay. The world is not going to end over Indiana. Trust me. There'll be other things, but not Indiana. It's just not the case.
Oh my God.
Okay, we're going.
I don't got anything else to say to you two.
Alabama's got more national titles. That's all that matters.
So Jeffrey, how about this? I'll see y'all this weekend, and we'll finish this up. And I'll tell you what, you better drop the dang phone line because I'm about to give you, Austin, and what's your buddy Will and D a little lesson in trying to mess with the diesel freak.
The link. I couldn't do it the other night. I was not a call-in show. Saturday night's a call-in show. You can come on, Caden, and spew all the lovely obscenities that you want at the
obscenity. You know who's really full of obscenity is you. You, Jackson, Will and D, and Austin are so full of obscenity. Oh my God, I'm gonna need a septic
validity.
Truck. Oh, validity. No, y'all got obscenity because I'm gonna need a septic tank for how much crap y'all are spitting. Oh my God, it smells bad. I can smell it through this phone here. Good gracious.
It's the diesel.
Oh my God,
it's the diesel.
No. Diesel smells better than manure. I will say that perfectly clear.
Dude, there's no manure where I'm at. Okay.
No
manure where I'm at. I don't know about you guys. Jackson, got any manure near you?
No manure.
It's coming from y'all. It's coming from y'all. It is coming from y'all. I swear.
You cannot smell through a screen, Caden. You can only smell your surroundings.
I can really smell it from y'all.
I mean, that's just basic biology and anatomy right there. I mean,
I can literally smell it from y'all because it's coming through the screen like, oh my God.
That's not how maybe your phone's about to blow up. Maybe
my phone is not about to blow up. I swear to God. Oh my God.
This is too funny.
But Jeffrey, I promise you, Saturday, you're about to really, really learn the hard way. I'm going to tell you that now.
All right.
But we're good. Alabama's fine. We're fine over here.
But I'll leave you with this. But here's the thing.
It's all good, man.
I'll leave it with this. Roll, Buckeyes, roll. How about that, boys? No, it's roll, Buckeyes, roll. It is roll, Buckeyes, roll. Roll, Buckeyes, roll.
That's a roll tide.
Buckeyes, roll.
Yeah.
Roll, Buckeyes, roll. Roll, Buckeyes, roll.
We'll see you later, Kate.
Roll, Buckeyes, roll. Roll, Buckeyes, roll.
Yeah, you have a good night, Cade. You have a good
roll, Buckeyes, roll.
Let's just keep rolling and the tide around here.
Oh,
no Buckeye, no roll Buckeye. That's just something fake that Caden came up with. But over here we're authentic. We got some roll tide roll. That's accurate. So.
Oh, Chris can't.
Katie, enjoy your red room, and I'll definitely can't wait to see you on Saturday.
Oh man, this is too funny, man.
Oh man.
And ironically enough, we forgot to mention this, but he was the first ever caller on the Alabama Call-In Show.
Oh, we love Kate. I just love messing with him, man. It's great.
Oh, yeah.
Just the back and forth. You don't take it seriously. Now, Caden might actually think he's taking it seriously, but I doubt it. It's not to be taken seriously. It's all in good fun to me anyway. I think it's great. I think it's awesome. I love the trolling Caden does. It's great. I think the banter it makes for great entertainment. up to old SNL quality. So we'll call it that. It's definitely a positive, and I hope everybody the chat's enjoying it, even though it looks like most of them want to vomit, but hopefully they're still enjoying it somehow in some sick weird way. But appreciate everybody for being here. Appreciate Caden for being here, giving us a wonderful time as always. And yeah, we wait for our next caller. What do you want to talk about, Jackson?
You know, I got a little something. You know, October is here. We're about halfway through the college football season. Who do I go to for some predictions? I think I know a guy. Jeffrey, you know a guy?
Oh, I know a guy.
Oh yeah, we know a guy. And he's a doppelganger of Mark Rogers. Let's hear what he has to say.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select a betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
And that's what you do. You go, if you want top-notch picks for the rest of the 2025 season, go to Mark Rogers, Steve Dace, Matt Zemek, Corey Bratta, and from Wager Talk himself, Steve Merrill, for those under-the-radar picks of the week. All right here on the Voice of College Football. You know, I've been thinking about the injury report for this week, and I just saw it. And our guy, Ryan Williams, is probable. It's looking likely he should be all right. Backway is doubtful. We know Beeman's out. Russell is out. I mean, Jamarian Latham, obviously out. Caden Jones out. Yikes. I mean, like, we're getting beat up on linebacker. Ooh. And Missouri, it's not looking good for their O-line either.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we're all right on the receiving core, obviously, but it's always good to have everybody all set and ready to roll. Looking at this injury report, how are you feeling at the moment for the Crimson Tide?
I'm not that concerned. I mean, most of those guys don't play that much. I mean, you don't want to say that to disparage those guys or say that they're not valuable members of the team. But that most of those guys don't play that much. Like Mbakwe, he's got talent and his time probably will come, but he hasn't really done anything, in game. He's done a little bit, but not much. So it's like if he can't play, we've got Bernard, Horton, Rico Scott, tons of guys, Cole Adams, tons of guys that have contributed more than Mbakwe has. When you look at Ryan Williams, he's going to play. Probable, I mean, I've rarely ever seen a guy be probable and then listed as out. That just typically does not occur. If you're questionable, it can be 50-50. If you're doubtful, you're not going to play, probably.
Yeah.
Probable. I mean, really, if he's probable, I don't even really know why he's listed at all. I mean, it's probably just the lingering whatever he's got going on from the injury earlier this season. I think he'll be fine. He looked good against Vandy. He looked good against Georgia. So I'm not that concerned with Ryan Williams. He'll play. Our injury report's not that bad. I mean, even for Missouri, I mean, those O-linemen, that hurts. But like Sam Horn, that's their backup quarterback. I know that a lot of people thought he was going to be maybe their starter, but then he got hurt. He was kind of him and Pribula had a battle. Pribula has been doing good, so I mean that's as long as Pribula keeps playing well, or Pribula, again, however you want to say his last name.
Pribula.
As long as he keeps playing well, then Sam Horn's injury is not a big deal. It just will suck if Pribula gets hurt and then they don't have Horn because he's out. But I don't really think the injury report's necessarily that substantial for either team, but especially on our end. As long as Ryan Williams plays, the other guys, again, nothing against them, but they're not that big of a loss. I mean, you'd love to have them. A couple of them might have contributed a bit, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's that big of a deal whether they play or not, because we've got the guys that matter on the field basically at every position.
We do, because like we're set, ready to roll on the passing game. I mean, got Cuevas, X Factor ready to roll. We've got Horton here in the Tide. We've got Bernard. We've got those guys. Hey, I mean, I would like to see. Well, no, I don't think Meadows will be seen in this game, but we'll definitely be seeing Meadows before the season's up.
Yeah, Horton here is Mizzou this week.
Oh yeah, he's gonna chew them up like a chicken nugget.
Yeah, that's the Bama meat that we should be focusing on, Caden. If you're still here, not us getting eaten, but I don't usually use your analogy, but it's just too good there. So Jackson says the chicken nuggets.
There you go, man. Yeah, I mean, because like it's gonna be a great game this week.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're only favored by 3. It's one of the best games of the week. You got IU Oregon, you've got OU Texas, Bama Missouri. It's up there. It's one of the best games of the week. It's a big game. If Missouri wins, kind of like with Vandy, that's going to jumpstart their playoff. The conversation for them. They're going to be in the top 10. For Bama, if we win, it just keep rolling. Keep further putting that Florida State loss behind us. It's a big game for both teams. It's kind of crazy. It's a noon game. I know why it's a noon game, because it's Missouri. If we were playing like LSU or Tennessee next week's a night game. Missouri's not as big of a brand, so it makes sense why they have it as a noon game. But I wonder how being a noon game affects both teams and the crowd. I think Missouri's crowd is going to be incredible still, but I don't know. It's just an interesting game. I see why Stephen Cherry said earlier it could be a trap game. I mean, every game can be a trap game theoretically, though. UCLA was a trap game because Penn State came off the Oregon game and played like crap. Does anybody remember what not Penn State, but does anybody remember what Notre Dame did after losing to Northern Illinois?
They won every game afterwards.
Yeah, not only did they win every game after, they beat Purdue the following week like 66 or 60-0 or something, or 60-3 or some ridiculous score. The point is that you don't know how a team is going to respond off of a loss or a bad loss. Losing Oregon wasn't a bad loss. They just didn't win. It's just like nobody knew Penn State was going to do that. Again, I see why Steven's calling it a trap game. Because, again, you can argue, well, the Tennessee game's up next. They're coming off Vandy and Georgia. It's kind of just sandwiched in here. Missouri's not a brand, so maybe Bama could. Again, I get it. But if Alabama wins this game 50-7, then it's not a trap game because we destroyed them. But if we lose and, it was a trap game, I'm just saying that term is a trap game is can be manipulated to fit a situation. Transit probably works in math. Yeah, it absolutely does work in math. And I've definitely dealt with that before. It's fun, transitive property. But, yeah, it does not work in college football. I don't do the transitive property. I use examples like that, like Notre Dame destroying Purdue last year after a bad loss, to just showcase an example of how a team responded well after a loss. And Notre Dame was coming off a big win. too. You look at Penn State coming off a close loss to a good team, and then they just completely laid the biggest, fattest, ugliest piece of crap egg on the planet that you could possibly have against UCLA, just a completely dumpster fire performance. A game so ugly and bad and trash that people are somehow comparing it to Michigan's loss to App State in 2007, which to me is insanity. It's not as bad of a loss. It's not. Optically, it's not even close. When Michigan lost to App State in 2007, that was embarrassment. They were an FCS team. App State was unheard of prior to that. And back then, top 5 teams that had national championship aspirations did not lose to FCS programs. Now we've seen it happen a few times, but it was not common then at all. Penn State losing to UCLA, yeah, we've seen top programs lose to conference opponents with a winless record. It's happened before. It's not unheard of. It was a terrible loss, but it's not the worst loss of all time. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just transit property doesn't work. I just compare examples to show that we sometimes have no idea on planet Earth what's going to happen. I mean, NFL, did anybody think that the Eagles and the Bills were going to lose this past week? I didn't think so. Oh yeah, the Bills lost to the Patriots at home. The Patriots. We're not talking about Tom Brady Patriots. We're talking about now Patriots. So yeah, we don't know sometimes. It's hard to explain why things happen. Some games just look like they beat trap games, but some of them make no sense. They make 0 sense on why they occur.
Well, there you go, man. Like, there's no doubt about it. I mean, it's so funny though. I mean, it kind of feels like the Patriots will be the second place team in the AFC East, but it's not really anything to brag about. I mean, if it's like AFC North or NFC North, then you're talking. But the AFC East is just a crap hole. Like, it's just been a crap hole our entire lives. Like, it's always been the Patriots, but then now it's the Bills winning that division. But oh man. Well, all right, we've got our next caller, a good buddy of ours, a good buddy of the network, Will and D. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
Doing good. Doing great after that latest Jalen Hurts interception. Looks like Commanders might be tied for first, man. The Giants are putting it on them early. We'll see if they can finish it off, but that's good news for me.
Yeah, what about East Carolina Tulane? All knotted up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, matter of fact, Godfather, I forgot to bring up Godfather the ACC's comment. Southern Miss is rolling. Hello, everyone.
Hey, Godfather. Appreciate you stopping by.
Oh, man.
But are you guys confident about this Missouri game? I think it'll be a fun one.
Oh, yeah.
It could be an elite game. I mean, if Missouri won, it would not shock me at all. I think we'll win. I predicted Alabama to win. I think we'll be fine. But I mean, there's a chance that we don't win. I mean, Missouri's not bad at all. They're a quality team. I mean, most teams in the SEC are quality teams, and Missouri is quality. So, I mean, yeah, I think that I think it's going to be a barn burner, dogfight. Whatever word you want to use, and hopefully we come out on top. I think we'll be fine as long as we just play well, play hard like we did last week.
Oh man, Jeffrey, I believe you had 31-21 for Alabama, correct?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, as far as I just put out a Monday night's edition of the. What is the title of yours and Will's show on Only Talk Sports? Like,
we just call it the college football show. We got
I've never been good with coming up with names like that, for shows. It's just. I mean, me and Will and D, we do a college football show, and it's awesome. I mean, it's a great time every week, and just so enjoy doing it with you, man. It's like I just I mean, what are we gonna call it? Like there's 80 billion college football shows out there with 80 billion names. I don't know. Just hope you want to check out this one.
I would suggest regular show, but then you might get in trouble.
Yeah.
You can't call it regular show.
We would have needed to be on YouTube in 2010, which I was like 6. So
regular CFB. How about that?
Oh, almost a touchdown, Giants.
The Eagles have crapped the bed. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I am so falling apart. I literally in the NFL, I was at 40-24 with my record. and now I'm at 44-36. Like, I'm barely over 500 now. I'm falling apart, and I picked the Eagles tonight.
Yes, first and goal Giants, pass interference. Let's go.
My record is completely crumbling. Yeah, well, good for the Giants if they win. I don't
Is
freaking
Al
know.
Michael
The
sounding
NFL cannot be predicted anymore. It is over.
Is Al Michaels sounding happy tonight, Will?
Well, I've mostly been watching playoff baseball today, to be honest. Seeing the Phillies lose makes my heart happy. So they
I know,
lost.
Yeah,
right?
Will's not a Kyle Schwarber fan.
Phillies,
Right,
get
baseball
out.
player. Hey, I root for Schwarber. If he has success,
I mean, I don't hate Schwarber. I mean, Schwarber's not the one I hate, really,
yeah.
man.
Well, I don't think anybody really hates him except when people bet him to have 2 home runs and he strikes out every time. But he's a good player. But yeah, I like Schwarber. I don't care about the Phillies in any way, but I like Schwarber because he was great at IU baseball.
Yeah,
So.
Phillies, get out.
Man, Scottaboo just did like a cartwheel and a backflip after he scored that touchdown. Oh man,
He's channeling his Christian McCaffrey right now.
Yeah. But what else? What do you guys think about the other games, Jackson? Like this USC Michigan game's fun for me as like the Notre Dame's 2 hated rivals, 2 out of the 3.
Oh man,
I guess
that's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah.
I want to see how Bryce Underwood's going to do in another.
I mean, if they're going to let Underwood like play like not safe, this would be the game to do it against USC's defense. So
Uncle Waylon, classic harmonica. Oh my god! Like I always look forward to hearing Godfather playing with the harmonica.
Yeah, again, it was a vast improvement from whatever the heck Caden's opera of singing was. Still don't know. I mean, I don't know if Caden's been to an actual opera where people can actually sing.
No.
You know? I mean, I'm not saying Caden was the worst. I've heard worse, but that was not.
Caden is scared. Caden's
operatic.
scared because he knows if Notre Dame wins the rest of their games, they will be in the playoff. Caden's
Yeah,
scared.
he's scared.
He's
That's why he's not talking about Notre Dame as much, man.
Yeah.
Oh man,
you got to go undefeated the rest of the way, Will. It's so funny because of the fact that I've seen so many people clown on me for defending your team, Will. I mean, I've been like, Stephen Cherry was even like, Jeffrey, you don't think Miami's good, but you're defending Notre Dame. And I'm like, well, Miami is good. I'm just waiting for the inevitable choke job that they have every year. Whereas
it'll happen in the playoffs. I'm pretty sure it will.
Notre Dame, I'm like, if they went out, they're in, and their 2 losses are to good teams. So it's kind of excusable.
I've gotten accused of hating on Miami because of that, where it's just every time.
Remember the BC hate for me? Oh, the BC hate, that's gone because now they're irrelevant. So bye-bye, BC. They're your history. You sucked when you were good. So at least IU doesn't suck when they're good. But go ahead, Jackson. What were you saying?
Yeah, it's like, because like I've been accused of being a hater this season of mine. It's like, you just don't like their coaches. But here's the thing, though. Mario Cristobal's 4-10 in November, December, and ever since he's coached at Miami, it's like I always
think right now the talent's too good to choke. Like as long as they're like somewhat.
That's just it doesn't mean he's a good coach at all. That's
I mean, he's a good recruiter. Good recruiter, but
it's so annoying seeing them win, and then people are like, "Oh, Mario Cristobal, he's actually a great." It's painful, guys. It's painful that people can just think somebody is good because they have great players. There's a lot more to that than that. You know, that's the way I feel. Like Cristobal has proven throughout his career to be a below, and I repeat, very below average coach in a lot of facets of the game.
Mm-hmm.
None more so than actually like timeout usage and
like Notre Dame played awful and only lost by like a walk-off field goal. Like Notre Dame did not play well, but Cristobal made some mistakes. And
Notre Dame walk-off field goal and Tyler Buckner is why you have 2 losses. It's the Tyler Buckner, man.
Well, I mean the defense. I mean it should have came down to that. The defense was so.
You're right, but still Tyler Buckner.
Yeah.
I mean, how? Yeah, oh my gosh, man. It's still just I cannot believe that Tyler Buckner's lasting legacy is going to be muffing like
It should be the
slow-mo.
fake field goal that worked at USC last year. It worked, the fake field goal. But
Oh,
yeah.
it's like good grief. Like it's just it's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
I
Like,
don't see a loss for Notre Dame on this schedule. I mean, they got USC at home. At Pitt. Pitt's not good.
It's not good.
I mean,
yeah, but when you go to Pitt, they
Honestly,
tend to
Navy
shell
scares me the
out.
most because of the how Navy kind of scares me the most, honestly.
Notre Dame's schedule it sucks
Yeah.
outside of the two
True.
opening games. I mean, it's a crap schedule, and I understand why people are like, oh, they shouldn't make the playoffs. But yet again, and I repeat this for the 80th time, there's going to be enough teams that lose. You already see the chaos happening everywhere with Texas and Penn State. All of those results help Notre Dame, and it's Notre Dame. Brand bias. Notre Dame's a brand, and they're going to let them in. They're especially, again, if Miami and A&M are in the top 10 at the end of the season, or at least top 15. And it would even help if USC actually does decent. But still, they're gonna get in. I mean, it's just the way that it is. I don't make the rules. It's just the way it is. At Stanford, Stanford is terrible too. I mean, trap game is the last game of the year. Notre Dame chokes. I don't know, man. That's a crap schedule. I mean, honestly, if you take Miami and A&M off of, that's a crap schedule. It is terrible. It is like really freaking bad. And I know it's not necessarily Notre Dame's fault that most of those teams suck, but that's just the ACC.
The ACC suck. Oh, because I have money on it. That's why I'm not outraged. I have money on it.
There you go.
Oh yeah, Will needs this, guys. Will, we need Will to win. Caden will never live it down if he wins the bet. It's like literally, if Will wins the bet, he'll stop talking about it after a week. But if Caden wins the bet, we'll be hearing it 5 years from now. So I mean, it's like we have to have Will win.
Oh,
here we go. The Eagles are going for it, 4th and 4 on their own 15.
Oh, God.
Man, this would end it.
Man, it'll be the first time since 2015 that the Giants have won a Thursday.
Yeah,
night
that sounds
football.
right. 2015.
Like,
That was Chip Kelly's last year.
Well, I guarantee they wouldn't have done it if they had Russell Wilson in. So, I mean,
they got it.
Russell Wilson, his career.
I mean, he just should have retired already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, that legacy thing. Like with Belichick, he should have quit after Brady left, right? You know, some of these quarterbacks like Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, even though he's trying this season. The thing is, when these quarterbacks stay in the league for a long time, again, we live in a society these days where people remember the last thing you do, the last thing that you've done, the last performance that you had. And that's why Peyton Manning is goated, because he quit when he won a Super Bowl.
Peyton did not. That was all the defense, though. I mean, Peyton.
We know that it was all the defense, but people are gonna say Manning.
Yeah.
That's just facts. We know it was the D. I agree that it was the D. They made Cam Newton look like I don't even know what insult I could possibly give. Yeah, it wasn't Superman. It was crap. But again, I'm saying that people's attention spans on that stuff are bad. So it's like nobody cares Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl back in 2008 or whatever, 10, whatever it was. It doesn't matter. It literally to people, it's what he's done since he left the Packers, which has basically been nothing.
Oh, another Eagles fumble. Man.
Oh. Wait, what time is it on the game?
6:50.
Oh, I'm at the 7-minute mark.
Oh, I'm sorry,
much.
Jackson. I'll shut up.
Yeah, I'm behind too.
No, it's okay.
I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care who wins anyway. Really, I mean, if the Giants win, cool for Dart, but it doesn't matter.
Oh man, well, we won't keep our next caller wait. We're gonna bring him on along with our buddy Will and D, and it's Sports Talk with Austin.
Maybe the last caller of the night if we don't get any more callers, but maybe not. We'll see.
All right. We'll keep
How you doing,
this at
Austin?
about 15 more minutes, and then we'll get to
What's
the next
up,
call.
fellas?
Yeah,
I'm sitting here watching the game too. Go Giants! Woohoo! Go G-Man!
Yeah.
Beat them Eagles!
Yeah,
I
beat them
need it.
Eagles. Beat them Eagles, man. I'm gonna be at Monday Night Football, man. It's gonna be fun. So we'll do
Oh,
our Monday stream early if that's all right, Jeffrey, because I'm off.
Okay, definitely. We'll try to make that
Hey,
happen. I should be able to do that.
hey, Jeffrey. I know this is a Bama channel, but are you excited for our game Sunday? Panthers Cowboys.
Rico Dowdle's revenge, Austin. Watch out for Rico Dowdle.
I mean, I'm excited about the game. I still think the Panthers are not very good, but the thing is that when I pick the Panthers, they lose, and when I don't pick the Panthers, they've won this season. So I did not pick the Panthers. So we'll see if that holds true again.
Listen,
Yeah. So
if we had won the Packers game, you would have had every right in picking your team to win this game because we're allergic to prosperity. But since we tied, there's a good chance that we win this game. I mean, I think it's just those cycle like we win a big one and then we blow it.
I hate ties. I really do. It's like it's 2025, not 1975. Good grief. It's like,
I'm shocked they had ties back then, considering they didn't have like the participation trophy type stuff. Like back then, it was like you just beat everyone up, right? It's like you think that you play to win, not play to tie.
Well,
it's kind of backwards that was the case. I don't get that.
Yeah, I mean,
since
the
we're talking
famous 1966 tie. Yeah.
Well, since we're talking about ties, I don't know if you all saw this, but Roger Goodell was actually asked about that a couple weeks ago when the tie happened, and he's like, "We do it for player and safety and health," and he even suggested college football should consider doing that, so we don't have any more of the LSU Texas A&M tie.
They already shortened
the
the overtime by the 2-point conversion thing. I mean, literally, if you can't end the game on a freaking 2-point conversion play, then you just need to.
I mean, Georgia Tech, though, Jeffrey. Not to cut you off.
Moron. He's a moron.
But even still, even with 10 overtimes with a 2-point conversion, it's not that long, right? Like the 2-point conversion plays are quick. They don't take that long to execute, and the game still ends. So I disagree. I don't. I actually prefer the old overtime rules that were longer.
You're with Jackson.
And health. They really care about player safety and health when they literally added a game to the NFL schedule. That makes a lot of sense. Like, oh, we don't want to actually go 5 minutes longer to end a game with a win or a loss, but oh yeah, we're gonna add an extra 60 minutes of football to a team schedule. That makes sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. That's the stupidest argument I've ever heard. Like, come on.
And it's like, right,
literally, isn't that stupid?
Yeah.
That's dumb. Like, get rid of ties if you care about player safety and all that, but cut the season short. Because player health, the longer you're out there on the field, the more you're going to get beat up. But that's what they get paid to do. So I don't get paid to get beat up on the field. None of us get paid to get beat up on the field. So it's like they do, so they got to deal with it.
And here's what's going to happen.
It's just the way that it is.
Here's what's going to happen, too. Watch the tie between my team and, of course, the Packers. Watch it affect the playoff seeding, where one team is going to get in and the other's going to get left out because of the tie. It's going to happen. And I was telling Jackson this
before. So you're right. I mean, it probably will.
I mean, didn't it happen to the Panthers in 2014 or 15? No, 15's the year y'all went to Super Bowl. What year was it the Panthers got in off a tie?
14.
Yeah.
14. Okay, I had it right.
You're right.
Yeah.
Because that was the year the Saints were like 6-9 or something, or 7-9, and the Panthers were like 7-8-1, somewhere in that ballpark.
Something like that.
I remember that.
Yep, 7-8-1.
I remember that they had a tie. I remember that's what happened.
Here's what I don't like. I don't understand why it's like, oh, we don't have a second overtime, third overtime, because player safety, player health, but 17 game schedules, 18 game schedules are silence. I never.
It's hypocritical. Like, I only get frustrated really badly on stuff like that when it's hypocritical. It's kind of like with the whole scheduling thing with Alabama and all that. Alabama not playing tough non-conference because you play tough non-conference, you don't make the playoffs. Yeah, well, you played Wisconsin. That the hypocrisy there is what irritates me. That level of stupidity. Like, I can take stupidity. We all have stupidity moments. Like, literally, I've been on this channel for a year, with Alabama channel with Jackson. I've been on my channel for 3 years, and I've said my fair share of stupid crap. We all say stupid crap, but when that level of stupidity just crosses the Rubicon of moronic, when you go in beyond just the cesspool of stupidity, and you're just saying the most absolute clickbaity pile of crap, or just it makes no sense. There's no substance to it. There's no even reasoning or logic or validity to a statement.
Yeah.
And that's when I completely lose my crap. And that when you got Goodell saying that about the ties, and everybody's talking about the ties, and it's like you literally added an extra game to the schedule, which is making it tougher on player health and safety. It's like, dude, get lost.
He's just talking out of his butt.
It's dumb. Like, it's dumb. I mean, it's
let me ask y'all something.
How dumb that is.
Let me ask y'all something to bring it to college football. Let's say there was ties in college football, and Alabama tied with, say, an LSU, but Notre Dame over here went 9-3.
My mouth a little bit just hearing that. But
like, here's the thing: Notre Dame could get in over Alabama because they have one more win. Because Bama, sorry, you tied. We can't help you tied with LSU. Like, you imagine how much rage that would upset a whole fan base. Like, Will would be happy; he would take it, but you two would be like, "This is stupid."
I mean, it kind of happened, Austin. Can I tell you a little story?
Go for it, Will. I'm here to learn some history. Go for it.
1966. It was going into like the second to last week of the season. Notre Dame was 1, Michigan State was 2, Bama was 3. But Notre Dame's running back and quarterback were hurt. I think the running back got hurt falling off the train. Like, he fell off the train in East Lansing and he hurt himself. But Notre Dame ended up tying Michigan State. It was a 10-10 tie. Pretty. You can watch it's on YouTube. The game's on YouTube. It was one of the first ABC college football broadcasts.
And we got punished.
And then Bama got punished for playing the all-white SEC, and they got
that 11-10 victory over Tennessee. It's like, well, dude, it was raining out. It was pouring down rain. It was cats and dogs over in Knoxville, Tennessee. Like, it's like, oh my God. Like,
the rain was more severe back in the 60s, folks. The rain was more severe. Now, that's a stupid statement.
Yeah. I mean, Notre Dame the Irish hammered USC in LA the last game of the season too.
I mean, it's like,
and then Michigan State fans, they didn't get to play in the Rose Bowl because back then the same team couldn't play in the Rose Bowl 2 years in a row. It's called the no repeat rule. So
there were so many bizarre rules.
And because of that, Purdue won their last Rose Bowl to date. That was their last Rose Bowl win, and they only got in because Michigan State couldn't go.
Good for Purdue. They got one Rose Bowl win when they shouldn't have got it, and IU has 0 because they played O.J. Simpson. So great.
Yeah,
OJ. That was the year before OJ got to USC too, man. It was the year before.
Yeah, OJ took quite a stab at Indiana in the 68,
You know something, guys? I love how Jeffrey finds a way to bring Indiana into a conversation. I love it. He always does. He's like, "Oh, Indiana,
I don't have to try." That's the thing. It takes no effort. It's a seamless transition.
He's like, "Oh, Indiana could have won the Rose Bowl in 1949 if our quarterback hadn't got ran off the field by his bridesmaid or something ridiculous to that matter."
Always the bridesmaid, but never the bride. Like, oh my God! It's like I remember hearing that quote from a Bugs Bunny cartoon once. Like, it was so funny. But,
speaking of bridesmaids, Jackson, who's calling your game Saturday? Is it Jesse Palmer?
Oh yeah,
Joe Bachelorette.
Ugh. It's like,
well, you know what that means. Jesse Palmer's going to be thinking about all the bachelorettes while Joe Tessitore's trying to call the game.
As long as Joe Tessitore never mentions Georgia's going to make the playoffs 80
Gosh,
billion
that
times
was
in a game
brutal.
ever again.
I generally like
swear,
Tessitore
I liked
too, man.
Tessitore before that game. He was
Yeah.
okay. I don't know. There was
that's
something wrong. He got the call. He got the call. I must repeat that Georgia will make the playoffs 80 billion times during this broadcast, and we will make it happen. Let's knock the crap out of Haynes King. Let's let Georgia in the playoffs. That game had some issues. I'm sorry, I'm not Mr. Game is you know what and all that, but there were issues in that game. Georgia Tech should have won that game. They wanted Georgia to win. I'm sorry, they wanted Georgia to win. Because again,
I hope
Tessitore
Georgia
made it
Tech beats
clear.
them this year, man. That would be great if they
Me
could
too.
beat them. Yeah.
Me
Oh,
too.
we'll all be pulled for Georgia Tech. That's for sure.
Dude, I don't know, man. That was crap. He said it so many times during that broadcast, dude. I mean, I'm surprised people didn't get any aneurysms watching that.
Oh, well, here's the thing, Jeffrey. Georgia's going to be in the playoffs if they make this 2-point conversion. Oh, they missed. Oh, Georgia's going to be in the playoffs if they could get this stop. Oh, Georgia's going to be in the playoffs if they could block this field goal.
I was like, shut up. What are you like, dude? Like again,
And literally,
Joe
Jeffrey,
Tessitore. I like you, Joe Tessitore. So again, I would love to have a conversation with Joe Tessitore. I would like to ask Joe Tessitore, honest to goodness, straight face, why did you say that 80 billion times? I just want to know. Are you a Georgia fan? And do you have a reason? Because again, he's not a bad commentator. He's good. But there was something about that game that I just
listen, I like Joe Tessitore. He does a good job announcing the WWE and football too. But I'm with you, Jeffrey. And then when Georgia scored, I ain't never seen somebody cheer that loud. He was like, "Georgia's in the playoffs. Georgia's got a chance. Whoa!" And I'm like, "Whoa, okay, we get it. Georgia's got a chance."
Yeah.
Dude,
We
your
never
camera was
heard
going crazy for a
anything about the Georgia Tech rivalry from Jesse Palmer or Joe Tessitore. We never heard how many times the game was played on Black Friday or Thanksgiving. None of it.
It's
None of
different when you're a fan of a team and you're on YouTube. Like, oh, I'm a fan of Alabama or IU, and I'm doing a watch party or something, and IU scores the game-winning touchdown, or Alabama, and I'm losing my crap and I'm going crazy. There's a completely different thing when you're on TV calling a game. Like, you gotta kind of like Herb Street. You gotta separate the Buckeye bias. You know, you have to, because you're calling a game between two teams unbiased as possible for the fans.
Well,
that's different. It's different if you're just running like a YouTube show. Then you can show as much bias as you want. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, and
we all have bias.
We're gonna pull up this $2 super chat from Cade the Diesel Freak, and it's quote: "Indiana is as irrelevant as Auburn, and oh my God, it's awful." Unquote.
Indiana currently is way better than Auburn. Not historically, but right now, that's all that matters to me.
Listen,
we appreciate the $2 super chat contribution from Cade the Diesel Freak. And
Jeffrey,
if you want your comment that's guaranteed to be read in the chat, put it in a super chat, and we will make sure to read it. That we can personally guarantee. All right.
Here's my thing: when people do that, like compare teams to try to insult them, like Jeffrey, I think most Indiana fans, and you can speak to this, would love to have the history of Auburn. I know you and Jackson, dog on them because they're Auburn, but they have a really good football history, and they're starting to get a really good.
Hey man, Kurt Ignetti could be Indiana's Pat Dye. We'll see.
I mean, so Indiana would love to have Auburn's history, have a quarterback like Cam Newton, win the Natty, play in SEC title games. Would they not, Jeffrey? Would they not take that history in a heartbeat?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I said Auburn's better than IU historically, but right now IU's better currently.
But speaking of Auburn, how do we think they're going to do against Georgia? I know Jackson.
They'll compete.
They'll be close.
Close.
Do you think there's a chance they can win?
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me if they did.
Hey Austin, this is a great conversation. We will resume this, but I want to hear your response to this statement from Katie.
Yeah, this is a $5.
This is your chance to make your rebuttal.
This is a $5 super chat from Cade the Diesel Freak, where he says, Louisville is a dumpster fire, and Austin is eating Twinkies.
You got the floor, Austin.
We
Your
appreciate
response
the
back to
$5
Kate and the Diesel
chat
Freaks.
and
Words.
a rebuttal from Austin.
So I'll address the first comment real fast. Louisville's a dumpster fire. Okay, Caden. So if we're a dumpster fire, then by all means we're a dumpster fire, Caden. Losing to a really good Virginia team where we had a chance to win. Had a 17-point comeback in Pittsburgh, a place historically where we've not had our best history. Oh, and did I mention we were playing in the ACC title game 2 years ago? And we currently have 2 quarterbacks in the NFL that Jeff Braun got drafted. Oh, did I mention we also have a Heisman winner and a 2-time MVP and could be a Super Bowl champion down the line? Did I mention that? Oh, and don't forget about the Sugar Bowl championship where we beat the Florida Gators, Caden. Let's not forget all that. But yeah, we're a dumpster fire. Yeah, we suck. We're not anything. And as far as the Twinkies go, I'm not eating Twinkies. I'm sitting here on the couch watching the Eagles Giants like the rest of us.
Hey, I mean, Austin, like, you guys have played in a conference title game just as long ago as Ohio State has.
That's true. That's true. I mean, that's the thing, Caden. If we're dumpster fire for that, then by all means, Caden. I guess Ohio State's dumpster fire too.
Yeah,
Hey.
Caden calling crap, but the thing is that Caden don't get is everything that Austin said was not wrong. You can't even deny that. I mean, we know Ohio State's infinitely
Louisville
better
has
than
played
Louisville,
in a
but
conference title game closer has played in a conference title game closer than more recently. Gosh, I'm sorry. My brain died for a second, but more recently, yeah.
Don't worry about it, Will. It's late. I mean, I was up at 5 a.m. the other night doing a 5-hour stream, and I couldn't even formulate anything at that point. I was just running on some of those diesel fumes probably that Caden's always running.
Here's the thing. Out of all of us here on this stage, Caden, and this is a serious question, if you're going to call any one of our programs dumpster fire, Louisville, Bama, Notre Dame, even North Carolina for the most part would not be the one you want to pick on. It would be Jeffries, Indiana, if you're going to do that.
And again,
now it's Carolina.
Is because they were the worst. I knew what I was doing, picking a bad football team to like. I picked the right one. IU is the worst, and now they're not. So it's amazing.
You know what's funny though? Those rumors of Belichick, where he's negotiating his buyout, but then North Carolina and Belichick both release a statement that we're happy with one another. Everything's
and the
fine.
Hulu documentary is canceled, and everything is fine. Kind of like that little doll that's on fire in that room. This is fine or whatever.
And there's like the photo of Matt Brown where he's happy. Like, I don't know where it is, but I saw it yesterday on X.
Mac Brown gave joy. Bill Belichick is
he's
just
out golfing, having a good time. He's smiling.
I mean, like, at least Mac Brown made a bowl game every year.
Yeah, that's like the baseline expectation. I like IU. Like, maybe we can make a bowl game. Carolina is in bad shape, dude. Belichick, dude, does he even know what he's doing anymore at all? Like, at all?
I think he's just like there to make sure his son has a head coaching job.
His son isn't doing squat. Have you seen that defense?
Oh, it's disaster.
He was okay at Washington last year. He was okay. I mean, he had his moments. I feel like he's like his dad too much. He gets stuck in his ways. Because Washington could have won a lot more games.
If you're already stuck in your ways at like 40, then that's not going to be too good when you're 60.
Oh, God.
All right, boys. I'm hitting the sack.
Right,
Caden, keep smelling your fumes while Notre Dame makes the playoffs. See you guys.
Wow.
See you later, Will. We'll see you soon. Goodbye.
What an exit statement.
Oh, Lord.
But I will say,
lefty then.
I got a couple things Alabama related I want to talk to y'all about, and then I'll head on out of here. I got to give y'all kudos. I will say though, Bama, me and Jackson talked about this, and I want your thoughts on this, Jeffrey. Has Alabama proven that they are no longer going to be complacent? Did they learn their lessons from last year? Because I know Jackson and me talked about this, and he believes they have. The Vandy
Yes,
game.
definitely.
Go ahead, Jackson. You're good.
Yes, definitely, absolutely.
So what do you think, Jeffrey? Has Bama learned? Are they not going to drop these silly games? At least not 2 anymore.
I think I need to see just a bit more to know for sure. But I'm basically right with Jackson. I feel like they have the Georgia game, the Vandy game, all that is great. But we still got Oklahoma, Missouri, Tennessee, Auburn. There's a lot of games in South Carolina, even though they look bad. There's a lot of games left. We got to see it for a few more games to know for sure that this team has learned all the lessons. I think they are better than last year. They look better than last year. And I think that if they do drop a game, it might just be 1 instead of 2. I'm basically with Jackson. It's just, I don't want to say the skeptic in me, but I need to see it just a little bit more to know for sure that we're not going to backslide.
And what I will say to this, too, is before Jackson reads the super chat, I feel like, and this is me being honest, I'm not on here to hate or not hate, or I don't like using the word hate, but here to discredit anything. But Vandy kind of shot themselves in the foot last weekend. I think we all with eyes could say that, right? Diego had the 2 turnovers in the red zone. It looked like they were going in to score. Now, does that change the game at all? I don't know. They would have had 28 instead of 14. But Bama still put up 30 on them. So Bama still could have won. But Vandy had their chances to win the game. And people may look at the box score and say, oh, Alabama just ran them off the field. Not really. It was kind of Vandy's own unraveling because they were in that game for a long time. And then finally, Ty Simpson and the offense finally was like, okay, we're getting a rhythm. We're going on these long drives. And Jeffrey, what have you always said the past couple of weeks? Bama and you too, Jackson, they need to go on longer drives. Needs to go on 6-7 minute drives, 13 plays, and just run the ball. Wear you out. And they did that against Vandy.
Yeah, it was a sign of improvement. I mean, I was very encouraged by that game. There were a lot of positive signs. I mean, Vandy's not bad. They are a good team. They're vastly improved from where they used to be. And it was a game that even though Vandy was ranked, we maybe coming off the Georgia game like last year could crumble and lose. But we didn't. And even though the game could have theoretically been closer, it wasn't closer because we got the stops and the turnovers. And we went on the long drive, and we ran the ball better. We did a lot, not all, because, again, under Saban, it was just incredibly different. But we did a lot of the things that we used to do under Nick Saban that resulted in us getting that type of win. So if we continue to do that, then we have a great chance to win every game the rest of the way, the rest of the season. It was a very good performance. I just need to see more games to prove for sure that this team is going to keep it up. Because I still feel like they could backslide potentially if they're not careful.
Mm-hmm. And I will say this too, Jackson. I know you want to read the super chat. And like we said, a lot of it was woulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? I don't want to seem like the guy that was woulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda. Bama got the turnovers, like you said. It was a great win. Because like you say, Jeffrey, all the time, you can do a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas for a lot of things. What if Auburn hadn't returned that field goal and made the kick 6? Bama would have been in overtime with them, and who knows what happens there. Bama might have been playing for the national championship. Well, they ended up playing for it, but they wouldn't have that loss on the record. You get where I'm going with that. But go ahead, Jackson.
Well, we've got the $2 super chat from Cade the Diesel Free, and these are his words. And we always read all super chats, no worries. And this is what Caden says. Austin, you eat Twinkies and you won't admit it. We appreciate the $2 super chat contribution. Goodbye for the contribution you've made tonight. And if you want your comment guaranteed to be read, put it in a super chat and we will make sure to read it. What's your response to that, Austin?
I will say this, and then I get to my final thing because we talk about it, Jackson, and I'm going to get Jeffrey's feeling on it. As far as eating Twinkies, I legit have never eaten a Twinkie in my life. Now, the part about me never seeing any in the store, that was me playing it up. I have seen them plenty of times in the store. Never eaten one, though. That's the thing. They were never in my household, but I have seen them in stores, though. But what I will say to this is, Missouri guys, I mean, are we buying the Missouri hype? Are we drinking the Kool-Aid? Because there's a lot of people that I've seen some of the big reporters out here picking Missouri to beat Bama. Because a lot of people believe Missouri could be have one of those years under Drinkwitz where they win 19 games and make a lunge for a playoff and SEC title contention. What we think, fellas? Are we buying the Missouri hype?
Let's see what the rest of October and November brings for Missouri.
I mean, I kind of agree with Jackson. I think that we need to see more from Missouri to really determine that. Again, their best wins are over South Carolina and Kansas. Not necessarily bad wins. They're not terrible teams that they beat. But at the same time, they're not elite. You know, Missouri has consistently under Drinkwitz been pretty good. And it kind of culminated in that Ohio State victory that people say does not matter at all because Ohio State didn't have any of their key players. Well, it doesn't matter. Missouri won, and it was a good win. But, you know, other than that, I mean, Missouri's just kind of done with I hate the phrase, or as you say, Austin, like not hate, like I loathe, just spawn the phrase, they did what they were supposed to do, because Missouri is not always a team that actually wins this game. It's the same with IU last year. Oh, Indiana won all the games they were supposed to. No, they didn't. Indiana was supposed to go 4-8. That's what everybody said they were going to go. So they did not win all the games they were supposed to. They kicked the crap out of all the teams that they weren't supposed to beat. So Missouri, to their credit, has been better under Drinkwitz lately. And they have been winning a lot more games that maybe they wouldn't have won before, or, maybe wouldn't have looked as good in. So I think they're improved. I think they, so far, have done a really good job of replacing Luther Burden and some Brady Cook and some of these other players they've had. They've done good. I mean, it's pretty good. But they don't really have a lot of, oh, yeah, we beat Alabama wins, or Georgia and stuff. So I think that, that this game would go a long way in believing in that. But, I mean, we kind of need to see it first, again, like with Bama, to really know. We don't know if Missouri's that good. They could be an 8-4-9-3 type of team, but we don't know if they're actually playoff material or not. This game would go a long way in determining it.
I want to make a comparison real fast to this. And Jeffrey and Jackson, when I say this, and I'm a big Louisville fan, but I'm going to say this. Missouri is what Louisville is to the ACC, a consistently good 8-4, 9-3 team. Am I wrong in saying that?
Not really. I mean, they're comparable programs.
And that, because you think about it, what do you always say Louisville is, Jeffrey? The 8-4, 9-3 program. They're not horrible. They're not great. They're decent. They're in the middle. They're good. Sometimes they have a great year. What's Missouri? They're not horrible, but they're not great either. They're in the middle. They're 8-4, 9-3. The occasional 7-5 when they get hit with something. I kind of feel like they're comparable. And I mean, now, does that mean that Missouri can't win this game Saturday? No, because sometimes teams mess up. Teams do things that we don't expect them to do. I mean, like the year Louisville beat Notre Dame. No one picked Louisville to win that game. Nobody. And they won by 2 scores. This could happen on Saturday. Missouri could win by 2 scores. But I don't think we would go out on record and predict that. I mean, Jackson didn't predict that. Jeffrey, what was your prediction for this game?
I got Bama winning by 10.
31-20. That's
okay.
Jeffrey's prediction. And for those that watched Alabama Primetime Live Tuesday night with Kyle McAvery from Mizzou Today on 3, I predicted it would be a 35-27 victory for Alabama.
Okay, I was 34-24 Bama. So me and Jeffrey are kind of in the same ballpark. Kind of in the 10-point range. But it's fair. I mean, and like Bo Perdula, I mean, he's going to be the one. I think if Missouri's going to win this game, he needs to play the way he's been playing. Because if Bo Perdula plays like everyone says He is. I know a lot of people think he might be the SEC Player of the Year. Some have even said, why isn't he getting more love for the Heisman conversation? Well, you beat Alabama, your name's going to be on the front page Sunday morning. When we wake up, your name's going to be plastered all over social media, all over college football. You're going to be the talk of the town Sunday morning. But what do you all think about Bo Purdue? Both Jackson and Jeffrey. Do y'all think he's good, or he's just been playing bad competition?
Well, a lot of it is bad competition, but at the same time, you have been playing a pretty good Kansas team, but you also did play a South Carolina team that was having an unhealthy QB in Lenore Sanders. I mean, it's not Sanders, Sellers.
Yeah, well, the other thing is too, I think it's funny that you kind of have the Will Howard, Avery Johnson situation going on, where Penn State fans like, if we had kept Brebula and let Aller go, the thing is that Penn State, whether they kept Brebula or Aller, man, their defense kind of sucks. So I mean, it's kind of their problem. I know it's not what we're talking about here, but I'm just saying that Penn State fans are saying, we should have kept Brebula. So I mean, that kind of shows you that he's playing well. His stats are good, but again, the competition's not that great. I mean, Kansas and South Carolina are two not that great defensive teams. They're not very good. I knew South Carolina was going to be worse defensively this year, and that was a big reason why I thought they would take a step back, which I correctly predicted. A lot of people thought South Carolina was going to be very good this year. I said no.
Jeffrey, what was your not to cut you off, apologies. What was your preseason prediction? Were you like me, 8-4
for South Carolina?
Yes, for South Carolina.
I said 7-5, and I'll almost. You were 6-6. I should have went 6-6. I almost said 6-6, but I said 7-5 because I'm like, Sellers is going to be enough to offset a bad D, and they'll go 7-5. But the thing is that he's hurt. So again, my prediction is going to be wrong because he got hurt and they suck. So if he was healthy and fine, I think they could have gone 7-5. Their defense was worse. Like I kept saying that. Like South Carolina fans were like, it's not going to matter. We only lost. Your defense got worse, and it's bad. So I was correct. I'm wrong on a lot of things. I went 4-12 in the NFL this past week on my predictions. They had completely garbage. So again, get things wrong all the time. But I called South Carolina. I knew they were going to be worse this year. You could just tell. Like I don't understand the hype. There was no hype. Where was the hype? They don't have good players. They lost a lot of
Jeffrey. Not to cut you off, but people love their offense. Like people thought their offense was going to be like I heard some people compare them to 2019 LSU type level, and I'm like, no. Yeah, I was like,
Ohio State is not even 2019 LSU. Nobody's 2019 LSU.
Nobody is
like that. Like to say South Carolina, that's hilarious. Like that's crazy, Austin. That's crazy. Plus, I mean, you think about another thing. Missouri has had the very fortunate scheduling quirk that they have not played a road game yet. So, that's another thing. Like that's great for them and all, but I mean, that when you're saying whether they're legit or not, they're going to be playing some road games later on in the season, including at Auburn, at Oklahoma, at Vandy. They got A&M at home. I mean, that's where the losses can start to snowball right there.
Yeah.
Real quick, Jackson, you might know this too, Jeffrey. How does a team go by almost 6 weeks, 7 now into the season and not have played a road game? How does that happen?
But keep in mind that remember Indiana's trash because they schedule easy and all that. Well, a lot of SEC teams do that too. Let's be fair. The difference is that you've got Georgia Tech, and you've got Alabama. Sometimes they play Wisconsin or something or whatever. South Carolina plays Clemson. Like these games, and people say, well, but a lot of them don't play hard schedule at all. Missouri played Kansas. Kansas is not that good. They're all right. They're better. Good job, Leopold. But still, I mean, every team, every conference has easy non-conference schedules for the most part.
Yeah.
What's stupid about it too? and I'm sorry, Jackson, about this, but I'm going to say this. Like Utah going to Wyoming, and then Missouri went to UMass. I'm like, why is Missouri going to UMass? Out of all places you could have chose, why? Like, I can understand if you're in close proximity, but Missouri to Massachusetts, why? Like, to say they played a road game? Like, help me explain that, guys. Why do teams do that? Like, is that just to say they played a road game to get people? Go for it, Jackson.
Yes. That's pretty much.
It's dumb. I mean, I don't get it.
It is
like
what it is,
Oklahoma State
unfortunately.
played at Tulsa
No.
once. You know, I don't know. I mean, these little schools, you know, they get their shot in the sun. You know, they get their little shot in the sun at home on national TV.
True.
But
Well, Austin, we'll get to our next caller, and thank you as always for tuning in and always calling in, good buddy. We'll definitely be seeing you soon.
tell him Ohio State sucks for me. But if it's Godfather, I love the Godfather. Thank you all as always. Roll Tide, roll Cards, and roll Hoosiers, if that makes sense. And roll Tacos for Jeffrey.
It's better than roll Buckeyes roll, so appreciate that, Austin. We'll take a roll Hoosiers and a roll Cardinals. Appreciate it, Austin. You have a great night.
And we've got our next caller, Hunter, on the line. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
Good. How are y'all?
I'm doing all right. Sorry for the long wait, man.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. So, last week was interesting. Started off, not so hot. But I don't even think us starting off slow was necessarily our defensive issues. I think it was more of an offensive issue. But I thought we played better in the second half on defense. I don't know what it is about this team. They seem to pick it up in the second half on defense. But let me ask y'all this. Our inability to stop the run at times, do you think that is a scheme issue or a personnel issue?
I think it's a scheme issue.
I would have to agree. I mean, it kind of looked to me like the early part of the game against Vanderbilt, especially, I was really paying attention to it. There was a couple big runs that Vandy broke off, and the gap control was terrible. Like, you talk about gap control on the D line, like plugging holes and all that kind of stuff. There's just big gaps that teams are just able to run through. I understand, the O linemen on the other team are doing a good job, and Vandy does have a better O line, but still, I mean, it really doesn't make sense. I remember watching USC when they had Alex Grinch, and the defense sucked so bad because the gap control had to be the worst in the entire country. It was not saying ours is that bad, but you cannot have bad gap control on the D line. You have to have guys in the right position, and they have to be running the plays correctly. I think we've got the talent. That's not the problem. We got the talent. Maybe you could say a couple guys that don't consistently play hard. I think overall our defense has been playing hard, but I think there are times when the scheme does fail. But for some reason in the second half, it works, and they start doing better, and the scheming looks better, and which is good because, if we're playing good on defense in the second half, we're going to be able to win a lot of games that way. You want to be playing your best football at the end of the game, but you just don't want to put yourself in such a big hole early in the game that you can't come back if that ever arises. But, yeah.
That's what worries me about this week, is us getting into a situation. Because if you think about it, it could have very easily been that we could have been down by 3 scores. And that's what worried me about going into this game. Now, with that being said, I think our defensive line is better than their offensive line. And I think we could get pressure on the quarterback. Yonze Pierre, let's give this dude some props. He is been able to. He's not had a lot of sacks, but he's had a lot of QB pressures. And having Tim Keenan, back, he's gotten better, since he's come back from that. And so I look for this game to be a big game for him. And if we can keep the pressure on the quarterback, and then we play going into that game knowing that we're going to have to stop the run, maybe the scheme will be a little bit different. I think what happens a lot of times is these defensive coordinators, and I felt the same way with Pete Golden, is that they want to look so sophisticated that they overcomplicate the defense to where it's too fancy. And that's what I liked about Jeremy Pruitt and Kirby, is their defenses, they weren't all that complex, and they just did whatever it took based on the players that they had. And I'm not so sure if Kane's scheme and his approach is more geared toward his players or what they do best.
Well, we'll definitely wait and see what's happening.
I mean, I
Everything
agree with
goes
you,
on.
Hunter, on everything that you said. I think that having a simplified defense is better in college football because the players, you don't want to say that they're not as smart. That's not necessarily the the way you want to say it. But I mean, when you're younger and when you're a professional, and you're in the NFL, you're a veteran, defense. You should know defense. You might not be able to coach defense, which is why when a lot of players become coaches, they don't pan out. Some do, some don't. It depends on your abilities to teach. But when you've played the game for a long, long time, you know defenses, and that's why sometimes you see guys out there on the field helping, like change an audible like a quarterback does. If their coach allows a captain on the defense to do that. In college, though, a lot of these guys they can't do that. They need to be told what to do every play so it works. Like they can't just run on the fly like that or given some leeway. They have to know what they're doing. And the more simplified it is, the better, because they can probably remember 3 or 4 different schemes than 15. The problem is if you're too simple and it's that easy for the other team to figure out, then that's when you start getting cooked on, defense.
And that's what made Kirby great, is he was able to keep the defense simple enough, but not so simple that teams could easily figure you out. But then again, with Kirby, we just out-athleted everybody. And we were just going to be that big, dominant physical defense that you just wanted to be able to push around. There's one in particular play that it has bothered me ever since it has happened. I went back and watched the replay several different times to figure out why. And I guess it's just a bad call by Womack. But the Georgia touchdown with the wide receiver caught that touchdown. And you see him say it was on me, but I don't know why they did not. Why? Because even to me, even with the limited, knowledge I have of schemes and of stuff, I know that in that situation, just based upon their formation, he should have dropped the safety down. And for some reason, they were playing the safeties up because they were in an empty set. They didn't have a running back there, so you would have thought to drop the safeties unless you're doing like a safety blitz. But we were in a zone. We were in a zone defense at that point. I just don't understand why we didn't drop the safety. And maybe that's what he was trying to say, was that he knew that was a bad call on that play. But it just looked too. It was just, I don't know why that plays bother me, but it has.
Yeah, I mean, stuff like that, as a fan, and you really, care about your team. So, you watch a lot of your team and you watch replays. Like me, I've never played football in my life, but I've watched a lot of football. So it's like, I know a lot about the game. I'm not an expert like some people are, but I know a lot about the game. So you pick up on things. So you know like you said, Hunter, you don't have to be a massive expert with scheming and play calling and all the X's and O's and the Jimmies and Joes and all that other stuff to know sometimes when a play is just bad, it's a bad call. Sometimes it's just that obvious. And
Well,
I agree. I mean, sometimes that happens, and that stuff's got to be cleaned up for sure. It does.
Well, was talking to a guy that I go to church with, and he was a defensive coordinator at a community college in California for 30 years. And I was talking to him about Kane's defense, and he said one of the drawbacks to that defense is teams have you're more vulnerable at the run on the runs. Like the teams can run on you. That's one of the drawbacks to his defensive scheme is it lends itself to you being in some games where teams are going to run all over you. Just to come from a scheme perspective, just from the formation perspective, that lends to it. And he said that he preferred, the 3-2 defense like the Saban used to run. And so there are some different things in that scheme, in that defense that Kane runs, that makes it very confusing for the offense because there's a lot of stunts and there's a lot of deep disguise coverages. But I just wanted to kind of learn from him on kind of how to think about this because from all the well, so I'm old enough to remember the Sheila days. Y'all were probably a little bit too young to remember the Sheila days, but
No.
from
Those were terrible days.
but from Nick Saban's since Nick Saban's been the coach at Alabama, we've been so used to one defensive type because that's all he ran, and so having to learn how to view this new scheme and this new defense is a little different. So, but anyway, I actually don't think that this game is going to be as close as everybody thinks it is. I think we can win. I personally think we can beat them by 2 touchdowns.
Oh, it could happen. Yeah.
I mean, I think our offense is just their weakness on defense is their defensive backfield. So I think we can score points pretty easily by throwing the ball. Now it's going to help if Jam Miller does what Jam did last week, and runs the ball, and so it's Missouri's good. I like Drinkwitz. I think he's a great coach. I even think that one day he's going to take over a bigger program than Missouri, and be that coach. He's quietly one of the best coaches in the country, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not top 10, but probably top 15.
Yeah, it's crazy to think too with Drinkwitz because literally about 4 years ago he was, I wouldn't say on the hot seat, but he kind of was. Jackson knows what I'm talking about because he had a couple like 500 seasons. It was like if he had one more 500 season, he was probably done because that's what Barry Odom did at Missouri. He went basically 500, and then he got fired, and then he goes to UNLV, saves his career. Now he's at Purdue, whatever. But yeah, it's like Drinkwitz kind of was on the hot seat, and then he finally had a good season, and he's done good since. So it's like, again, coaches can kind of play their way off thin ice. It can happen. Napier looked like he did it last year. Now he's choked again. He's now top 10 when he has his job on the line. But other than that, they're dog water. But, I think that Eli Drinkwitz is a success story of a guy that, takes I I wouldn't say a hard job, like a really, really difficult job, but not an easy place to have success in the SEC. It's not impossible. And he started out a little rough, and now he's turned it around and done great. So it's good. It's good for him.
Well, if you remember, about 10 years ago, Missouri was in the SEC championship almost every year.
Yes. That was when they first joined the SEC.
Yeah.
Like early on.
Yeah. And here's the thing in coaching, and this is the thing that I harp on about schools. I think sometimes people are fired prematurely because you have to give coaches time, because it's not just, I know that us fans overreact and we want immediate results right away. That's why when people were talking about after the Florida State game that we should fire DeBoer, I thought this was ridiculous. You just got to give people time.
Great.
And the thing that I've always said about Auburn is I personally think that they fired Gene Chizik too soon. Because even though he had that really bad season where he won only 6 games, the year before he won 9. And he just lost a lot of seniors that year. And if you would have gave him another 2 years, he probably would have had that program, to where it needed to be. But, that's what I think that sometimes schools hire coaches and then don't give them enough time, and then they fire them prematurely. Even though
Mike Krzyzewski's first 3 years at Duke basketball, he had a losing record.
Yeah. Right. And then look up what his career was been. I mean, look, Nick Saban lost to Louisiana Monroe at home his first season.
November 17th, 2007.
What if we would have said it? What would we gave him on Saban at that point? Well, he's just trash. He's another Sheila. He's another, whoever,
There we
go. I think that's the thing. Now, and so I know this is a completely different team, but it's still college football related. I remember when Nebraska hired Scott Frost at Nebraska. He played there. And in my opinion, they gave him enough time, and he just didn't get it done. But I wonder what it is that some coaches have more success at a lower tier Division I school versus big time college football like the SEC and the Big Ten. I wonder what that is, and why some coaches are able to have more success at that level and then not be able to make the big jump, when it's, SEC level or, ACC, Big Ten. What do you think that is? Because I've seen this happen a couple of different times with coaches who went to a big school, didn't do so hot, got fired, and then went back down, and then had immediate success. I just don't understand.
They weren't having to deal with a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I think some people don't handle pressure very well. I think with Scott Frost specifically, he had a lot of issues going on in his personal life that really contributed to the downfall of that. And plus, his team was just incredibly unlucky as well during games where it's just somehow, some way they found a way to lose, whether it was a fumble or a pick or the ball getting snapped over the quarterback's head, or maybe Scott Frost made a dumb onside kick call at 10. There was a lot of examples, but literally, that's the reason Kurt Cignetti had skeptics. Oh, he won wherever he was at James Madison and IUP and Elon. These are all terrible schools. He's not going to do that at IU. He goes to IU and he does. You don't know until you hire a guy. Literally, nobody thought Kurt Cignetti was any good until he went to IU, and now he's had the success he has. Now he's one of the most hated coaches in sport because everybody hates IU for some reason. But again, I digress. It's one of those things where you really don't know. Scott Frost was one of the most universally praised hires in the history of college football, including me. when he got hired, I was like, oh, UCF, look what he did. The fake national championship and all that he did down at UCF. And then he goes to Nebraska. It's like, oh, he's going to bring him back to glory, back to almost Tom Osborne, all that. At least Bo, Pelini, but probably better. And the dude has the absolute worst record in all time in one-score games for any coach I've ever seen in my entire life. So, again, you really just don't know until you hire a guy. I think Scott Frost's example is definitely a unique one because, again, he had a lot of issues going on at that time that I think prohibited him from being able to coach as high of a level as he could have. But still, I think that it probably is due to the individual. Sometimes it's just pressure. Maybe you can't handle it, or maybe the school doesn't give you enough support, or maybe you just recruit the wrong players, or the circumstances just don't unfold that well. Yeah, I mean, you look at the NFL, a lot of people say, oh, well, this team would have been so much better if they didn't play in that division at that time when there were all the teams in that division were good and they just couldn't win. Well, maybe all the years that they had, all the teams that they played ended up being better than they thought. They just didn't get any favorable schedules. I don't know. There's a lot of factors at play that go into a coach not working, out at a job that everyone thinks that they're going to work out at. And while some coaches that you don't think are going to do jack at a school end up being one of the best coaches of all time. So, I don't know. It's bizarre. I don't really think exactly there's a legitimate, definitive answer to your question. It's a great question, but I don't really think there is one because there are so many different factors and so many different coaches and personalities and situations, and each school's different, and schedules are different, and players are different. There's a lot that goes into it, and sometimes it frankly doesn't make any sense.
Right. Well, that's the last thing I got, then we'll get out of here. I don't know how I follow it very closely. I don't know how close y'all follow. How closely y'all follow recruiting?
A lot. Like
Jackson follows it more than I do, but probably mostly for time.
Okay.
The lack of time is tough. You got to have a lot of time.
Well, I say this to say this. So Jackson,
I do look at it when I can.
Okay, so Jackson, you'll probably know this, like I do. And this is what I think is going to be the key to DeBoer's success. And I think this is what makes this coaching staff and Kalen DeBoer separated from everybody else. We just got a commitment over the weekend from a guy from his 3-star. He's the number 35 offensive tackle in the country.
Yeah.
Okay. Kalen offers him. And then look who swoops in. Ohio State, Georgia, Auburn. Now, I will say that Georgia had offered him before Alabama. They offered him after Alabama, but as soon as they offered him, he ended up going on an official visit to Georgia at the Georgia-Alabama game, and then he was back at Tuscaloosa to see Alabama play again, and then committed. And now, like a bunch of schools are wanting him. It's this type of finding players that are kind of under the radar that nobody really knows about. It's going to make Kalen DeBoer have a lot of success. I think in Nick Saban's era, I think the biggest under the radar player that he ever got. I don't know if y'all know the story. Was Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs was a 3-star recruit out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Not a lot of people, not a lot of big schools that offered him at the time. Somebody that was a friend of Saban's called Saban and told him about Josh Jacobs. He sent one of his assistants down there to look at him. And offered him, got him on an official visit, and he committed. Well, shortly after that, a bunch of other schools got involved, but Josh had already made up his mind. And look how good of a player, that is. Josh Jacobs ended up being. But I say that to say this: I think that's Lachier Brooks was another guy who was didn't have a lot of offers when Alabama he came to camp. And Kalen and them jumped on him. So, that's the thing that I think is going to lend Kalen DeBoer to having a lot of success at Alabama is being able to recruit, the highly recruited, guys, the 5 stars or whatever. but it's also being able to find the guys that nobody really knows about that are end up going to make a big impact, like Alontair Brooks, who's had some success this season. So I'm excited. I mean,
There we go. I'm
I
excited as well, man. It's gonna be fun.
I mean, I know we don't have. I know we're not like finishing. Like we're not going to finish this year. Probably not going to finish top 5 in recruiting. We'll be probably. I think we're at number 7 right now, and I think just the days of any school being a consistent, top 3 recruiting class, I think those days are over. Just because with all the different, with NIL and all that, I think there's only going to be a lot more teams that are going to finish. Farm recruiting rankings are going to finish. It's not always going to be the same teams at number 1, number 2, and number 3. So, but
There we go.
so.
Well, Hunter, we'll definitely be seeing you next week, and you have a good night. Sleep well, and enjoy this Saturday's game against Missouri. Good buddy.
All right. See y'all.
You have a
See you
great
later.
night, Hunter. I think you made a great point on that, by the way, about recruiting guys that are a little under the radar and the high quality guys. The 5-star. You got to recruit both. You have to. You can't win a national championship without 5-star talent. You can't. I mean, I'm sorry. There's been people that have tried to say it. At least a lot of high level 4-star guys that are like very, very, very experienced, like that Michigan team, and they even had a couple 5-stars that won it all, and a lot of the other reasons that people said Michigan won it. But the thing is that you have to have both. And I think that recruiting is saving DeBoer big time because people can't fault that. The recruiting is insane. The recruiting is fantastic. The results just got to back it up on the field once those guys come. And he needs to be given the time to get to those classes, and I think he will. He's not doing bad this season. I think things are fine. I think it was massive overreaction from the Florida State game. It was. And even some of the last year results. We need to see more. DeBoer's doing fine, but only time will tell how long he's going to be the coach and whether the recruiting classes pan out and all of that. That's why we watch the games. That's why we follow all of it, because we'll find out in due time for sure.
And last but not least, we've got Alabama Richie to round out the last part of the college show for the next 10 minutes or so. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
I'm so glad to be with you guys. I'm so sorry it's a late call tonight.
No worries, man.
I'm in Tuscaloosa this weekend for soccer and such, so I figured I'd get on with you guys as always. Can't miss a show. But yeah, very excited for the win against Vanderbilt. We did a lot of things right. I still think we need to clean up the clock management. That's one thing, but other than that, Hunter made a couple good points I was going to touch on. The whole deal with the recruiting deal, I think, is very, very key. But one of the things I think is going to save DeBoer is being that dog, having some of that dog in him to where, you can set the example. And then when you leave and you're not around, you can have somebody like Simpson's been the last 2 weeks setting the standard for what you look for in a championship atmosphere and a championship player. And McCarron said it on one of the shows with my guy Tyler Siskey. When you put on a crimson jersey, it's an absolute privilege. So with the fact that Saban had good success finding players under the radar that were lower players, like he mentioned with Josh Jacobs, I think the key for DeBoer and company is going to be you find these low tier guys and you get them in a crimson jersey and you tell them, how bad do you want this thing? Because you don't understand what it means to put on the crimson jersey and rip the script A or rep the script A and those colors. A lot of people know that it's a big deal and you're playing at a significant program and for a significant program. I think one of the things that set a lot of these coordinators apart was not every coordinator was the same. The Pete Golding days, the Bill O'Brien days, the Tommy Rees, and the Kevin Steele days. Everybody does it differently. The good thing that Saban didn't have to worry about with Lane Kiffin and Kirby Smart to me was the fact that Both of these guys just happen to be generational talent and generational coaches to where Saban, there wasn't a lot of pressure on Saban. I think his last season, and he even mentioned it, having all that pressure on him because the help that he had was just okay, not great, was a factor. But I think, to sum it all up, moving forward for this season, you just have to keep touching the gas. You can't, even afford to tap the brake. Missouri lost to us last year, right? They're going to want to come into this game stronger than last year. Ahmad Hardy is going to be a big factor in the game because I'm not sold on Bo Perbula as a top quarterback in the SEC. He's like, to me, another example of like a Tyler Bray from Tennessee or a Brandon Allen from Arkansas, almost at Arizona, where you're good, but you're not great. You're just, and he's doing his thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he can't play, but I think a couple things are helping him out. The fact that he has a run game and the fact that he's got decent receivers to throw to. So it's not to say that you see, because to me, there's a couple other quarterbacks I've seen in the SEC that are a step above him, and two of them to me would be Marcel Reed and John Mateer. And then right now, Ty Simpson's playing at an elite level, and this weekend will be a major turning point, and it'll be a huge deal if he does really well in this game. Simpson. That's just my thing about Perbula. He's got help around him that makes him what he is. Otherwise, I think he's doing his thing. And, for us, you got to get the job done on the road. You can't tap the brake. You got to be clean. You got to clean up some of this clock management to me. I'm really happy with Kane Womack. I think he's been doing his thing, but there's always room for improvement. The Jaden Roberts scenario with the O-line, I think, what I've said, and I said it today on my TikTok show, when you get the opportunity to play on the Tide, or for the Tide, on the Tide, and for the University of Alabama, you have to give your 110% effort every single game. If the coaches look at somebody else like they have with the Carter kid, maybe there's something you're not doing that the coaches need or are looking for. And then, heck, DeBoer knows that the Alabama fan base is very tough. The criticism's there. You lose one more game and it'll be back to the emotions. That's what Billy said when he beat Texas. Billy straight up said in the post-game interview, and he didn't straight on say it like this, but to paraphrase it, it's, where's everybody else that was chirping, fire me, when I just won for you guys? Where's that going to be? You're going to be silent. The second I lose again, or we lose, you'll be back to chirping. Everybody that's been high on DeBoer, we lose again, you'll be out of the woodwork again going, what did we tell you? DeBoer always loses one game he shouldn't lose. And it's just the way I've seen the program the last two seasons is it's a different way. And you got to be that guy. So I think if you keep on winning games for the program, you'll get the people to come play for you. Don't have to worry about, losing this guy to somebody, because all these kids want to do is they want to play for a school that's going to give them the best chance for success. And right now, the Tide have a good step in the right direction. You won 2 straight games. You figured out how to beat Pavia. I told you guys last week the jury's out on Pavia. The fumble cost him and the interception cost him. Justin Jefferson had a very clean game. He forced the fumble, knocking the ball out, and you get the job done. Ty puts up 340 yards passing. But the clock management, for one, is atrocious. You're going to get beat having to almost snap the ball at 1 second. You're getting it off sometimes at 0 seconds, and they're giving you a pass. That to me is poor repping in the SEC. Against games on the road, even at home, you could get penalized for that. That's a big factor to me. And then just making sure you can continue to run the ball, because the second that the run game stops and Ty has to be the main focal point of this team, you're going to get disappointed. So against Missouri this week, to sum it up, you got to play clean ball. You got to let the crowd noise not affect you as much, and just stick to the normal game that you've been playing since the Florida State loss. I think that lit a fire in everybody, losing to Florida State, that, hey, we're much better than that. And now you've seen Florida State the last few weeks. I think they looked okay against Miami, but they still lost. They lost to Virginia on the road. So that's my point, my thoughts.
Well, I will say though, it'll be interesting seeing what happens for the rest of the season for each team, but we're all right. Like we're gonna be fine, of course. Like I mean, it's like we're more than fine. We're awesome. We're gonna bring our A game against the Missouri Tigers, and I believe we're gonna bring our A game against Tennessee. We'll have those little victory cigars, of course. And I think we're gonna be awesome. Like, I mean, we proved ourselves the last 2 weeks, and I think we're just gonna keep proving ourselves.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the thing that everybody needs to look at with this team is it's only up from here. You know, you got to keep playing good ball, and you've got to keep showing people that, hey, we're much better than the Florida State game. You know, the good news is you get Tennessee at home, and you get LSU and Oklahoma at home. So those are 3 big games that you got to get by. Auburn, you're on the road, but I said it multiple times. I'll stand on it. Jackson Arnold is beatable. If they lose to Georgia at home this week, and a lot of people criticized me for not favoring Auburn in this game, and I said, look, I think they're going to get disappointed again, because I think Kirby Smart is a great defensive mind, and I think this team will figure out how to stop the guy. And the reason I bring that game up, Georgia Auburn, is you lost to Jackson Arnold last year. If on our side of the ball, losing to him, you could go to Auburn and fumble and lose to the guy again. And that could be a game that's a head scratcher, because so in this year, I believe that if you are perfect up until the Auburn game, you'll still get into the playoffs if you were to drop that game on the road in Jordan Hare. But it's still going to be a major question mark, because people are going to look at the coaches and the team and go, but you lost to the same quarterback again, not just one time, but in a different jersey. So that's just something to think about. Otherwise, I think this team has got a great chance for success this year moving forward. But it starts with getting a good win in Missouri. A lot of people I've talked to think we're going to run away with the game, and I don't see it. I think it might be closer than people think. I think that what's going to happen is this might be a game where we're actually forced to do more than we've done in the last 2 weeks. And this might be a test to how do we handle pressure, being on the road, being in a hostile environment. Missouri is a tough place to play. And the comments on Drinkowitz, here's the thing about coaches to me that succeed at lower programs and stuff, is there's competition level. It's different when you go to a lower tier program. It's like Dan Mullen when he was at Mississippi State in Florida. He had the success, but it started to get to a point where the record kept becoming the same, if not worse, and they just didn't want that again. Florida wants championship or bust, and Billy's in one of the hottest seats. He's on a 7-day contract off the Texas win. He goes over to UNLV, Dan Mullen, and gets the job done. That's a lower tier program compared to the other two. And I don't know, I'll never know what goes on behind the scenes as a coach and things, but I tend to believe that he has more to work with at UNLV because of what he's been able to prove. These programs just want somebody, to me, that are getting the job done. Because, like, I give another example. Everybody knows Alex Golish, that used to be the OC at Tennessee, got the South Florida gig. He's probably going to get South Florida if they win against North Texas in Texas out of that, what do they call it, that combination of 5 schools. And if he does that, what are they going to say? You know, he can't coach. He's not elite. I mean, look at what he's done with South Florida. You're getting by with a scheme quarterback, but you're still doing your thing. You were at a big time program. They gave you a shot, you know? So I don't know. I think some of that just is programs are different and everybody's expectations are way different. Um, but you know, yeah, I'm excited for the rest of the season and hope it picks up and um you know, the boys just believe in themselves because you're going to have to play. So,
It's gonna be fun watching Alabama, Missouri on Saturday. It's gonna be extremely fun. Well, Rich, anything else you got for us tonight, good buddy?
uh, not too much. Anything you want to add, Jeffrey, before we get out of here?
Not much. I just listened to what your thoughts were on Missouri and Alabama, and I agree with everything you said. You know, Missouri. You know, a lot of people talking about places and isn't tough. You know, it's to me. I think not a great attitude to have towards Missouri. We need to treat them like they're a good team. Treat them like they're a good opponent. Don't overlook them. We're not in the saving state of mind anymore. We have to play hard every game. We can't take any team for granted. I think that if we play hard, if we play tough, you know, we it's all about effort. You know, the scheme matters. You know, you don't want blown schemes and coverages, but you know, overall, if we play hard, I think we'll win. I think that Alabama is definitely the better team still than Missouri. But Missouri, if you give them a chance, just like any other team, you know, they're going to believe and they're going to try to knock us off. So we can't let that happen. We can't let a trap game or just an oversight. So I think, again, we just got to go out there and play hard like we did the last 2 weeks and we'll win. So that's the way I feel. But I agree with everything you said, Richie.
Absolutely. The last thing I'll add to this is I said it multiple times on here in my TikTok show, and I said it for Wager Wire as well. You got up to Norman last year, and everybody treated it as if it wasn't going to be a close game or anything because Oklahoma had been pretty much terrible up into playing Bama, playing us, and you were highly mistaken, and that was probably one of our worst games of the season. And because of that, you didn't make the playoffs. So my challenge to the team this week is going to be, how do you get to Missouri and get the job done? This could be a trap game. You know, Missouri is different than that Oklahoma team from last year with Arnold because the difference is Bo Perbula can actually throw the football. He's not a scheme quarterback. But you can't treat this, like you said, exactly agree with what you said, Jeffrey, on you can't treat this as a trap game. Someone said that he was a Tennessee guy that joins us every now and again for our Wager Wire shows, and he said, "You know, there's no overlook in the SEC. It's the thing I said about Mississippi State and Tennessee. Said you overlooked when Tennessee went to Starkville. You overlooked State. You could lose, and they overlooked them a little bit, and it got to overtime. So the challenge to the team this week is, how serious do you want this thing? Because there's a lot of people that think you could be one of the best teams in the country. I don't personally. I've never said that. I think you've got to want it every single week. And then by the end of the season, the two last games, that's when, to me, I give my full analysis, but I'm not sold on anybody right now. I think there's teams playing, and the Tide's one of them, but you got to keep your foot on the gas, and it starts with Missouri this weekend and stopping that Ahmad Hardy run game. So,
no doubt.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys again for taking my call, and I'm so blessed to be here. And you guys enjoy the rest of your night and the game on Saturday, and I'll see you guys next week.
See you later, good buddy.
Appreciate it, Richie. Hope you have a great night. Always a pleasure.
Man. Well, and that will be a wrap to tonight's edition of the Alabama Call-In Show, all right here on Alabama The Voice College Football, celebrating the 1-year anniversary with all of you. And we will make sure we've got a YouTube post and our community post celebrating the 1-year anniversary with all of you, asking you what your favorite memories are of the Call-In Show, all right here on Alabama The Voice College Football. Well, Jeffrey, you've been cooking up some magic. What you got going on in your kitchen, good buddy?
Definitely me and Will did our week 7 college football predictions earlier this week. That was a ton of fun, predicting every big game we have coming up, and also did my NFL predictions earlier today. I'm already got one game wrong though, I do believe, because the Giants knocked off the Eagles. So yeah,
Oh.
the NFL has been very unpredictable this year. Just don't even know what else to say about that. But definitely going to keep on predicting the games no matter what happens. Going to be trying my best to try to figure out the wacky NFL. Still fun regardless. Appreciate you guys checking that out if you would like to check it out. And also follow me on X as well. And definitely subscribe to Alabama, the voice of college football. We're very close to 3,000 subscribers, and we appreciate all the support. It's been a fun season so far, and we're going to keep on talking the Crimson Tide with you no matter what happens. So it's always a pleasure.
We'll be next on the Alabama Missouri postgame show right after the game ends. All right, here on Alabama, the voice of college football. So tell your friends, family, and cashiers at Publix about the magic that Jeffrey's cooking. All right, here on Only Talk Sports and on Alabama, the voice of college football. And you can also check me out, Jackson Johnson 979, where I've got my latest episode of the Jacksonian with Gabe Pickup for Rutgers at the voice of college football and NBA trades and rumors. Well, NBA news and rumors, where we talked a lot about the NBA season, the Jets, the Mets, and the Rutgers football team for 2025. Can they get the ball eligibility? That we'll definitely wait and see. And you can also check out Pitt's analysis and upcoming episode of The Final Whistle with Sports Talk with Austin, who you saw tonight. And for more updates on what I've got going on the Jacksonian, Alabama with the voice of college football, Jackson's World College Football on Lockdown West Virginia, and the Once Week calls on the Feinbaum Show, however long they're going to be, until Feinbaum enters politics. Check me out, JacksonVOCFB on @/Twitter and on Instagram and Threads, Jackson Johnson 543-908, and the Godfather of the SEC with the clutch comment. Great show. Peace. 1 year anniversary show. Can't wait. We'll be this is the 1 year anniversary show tonight, but we'll put out a post on each of the social media platforms, but also on the YouTube post on this channel, asking all of you your favorite moments of the Alabama call-in show since it started a year ago. So we always want to make sure we ask y'all what all of you think. So with that being said, we thank you all for tuning in to the 53rd edition of the Alabama Call-In Show, all right here on Alabama, the voice of college football. Like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell so you never miss no video whatsoever. And we will be seeing y'all soon. And roll Tide.